All right, ladies and gentlemen, I am very, very excited to bring on a lovely guest. She is taking Instagram by storm. I love the videos she does. These really, really adorable juice party videos, and she has a lot of interesting, great information about juicing and detoxification. And I think she has a really interesting story to tell. So give a warm welcome to Paige Ayers. How are you doing?
Thank you. Yeah, good. Doing great today.
I want to hear about these juice party videos. I would love to play the music that goes along with it because this has this has been in my head for. I mean, as I'd never heard this song before, and so it's been in my head for now days after watching this video. But then that's my jam. How'd you get this idea to start making these videos?
Well, I thought so. My kind of personality type is quite. I don't like to take myself too seriously, and I like to have fun. And I thought, with health, and I think sometimes being healthy and like trying to getting people to engage in health is it's kind of hard because people are like, oh, got to do it. It's like a chore. Got to be healthy. And so I thought, how about I just be really funny and add fruit to it and have a good time and show that I'm having a good time being healthy and like eating up fruit and like detoxing and like learning about my body, and to make it kind of fun for people as well.
Right.
And that's why I started with the juice parties. And also I just thought I just want to have a good time and enjoy myself, and bringing the personality as well as the kind of the knowledge.
Right.
So that's why I started doing it.
Yeah, no, I love those. Those they are adorable. You just let it go and you just get into it. And,
yeah, I'm just like, just party in front of it. It's really funny because when I'm doing it and I watch it back and I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm so silly. But I guess it's.
But it's perfect. Now you have a significant other or kind of dating situations, that kind of stuff. And I ask this because I know a lot of people when they get into the detox modes or this kind of spiritual awakening, sometimes they'll take a break from all those kind of relationships and they're just focused in. Other people, they try to start practicing the diet, and they might have wives and husbands, and it's always interesting stories in there. So give me a little insight of your experiences on that in that area.
Yeah, so I was like, not anymore, but I was in a relationship, and when I started getting into this, different eating and different ways, and like wanting to do different things, like go for walks, like in the forest, and I don't know, all that kind of stuff. Yeah, I started to realize that actually it's quite difficult, because when a person knows you for what you have been, and now you want to do loads of new things, and obviously it's a partnership, and it's like, oh, why don't you cook the same foods that you used to cook, or I don't want to eat fruits all the time, or I don't want to eat this kind of stuff all the time, but I want to do this. So it's a difficult thing, and that's what happens. I think a lot of people kind of get to, unless your partner wants to kind of do the same thing and be like, okay, well, let's do this together, and I'm open to this. Sometimes things don't work out, and so that's what kind of happened with me. But it's just a shame, because it's I feel like, for me, I'm like, I want to tell everyone about this, and I want everyone to join me and be like, come, we can do it together, and like, let's see what happens. But some people aren't really on that kind of vibe yet, and that's okay. That's, everyone has their time to when they have their certain awakenings, or if they're open to certain things. So for me, that's what happened, and but I'm really happy. Happy,
well, it's have you put up any kind of boundaries? If you meet people, do they have to sort of be on this same page or in the same book somewhere?
I have learned that actually, for me, it's important for someone to be open-minded and be interested in kind of this kind of lifestyle. It doesn't have to, you don't have to be like 100% like plant-based. You don't have to be 100% like want to be a fruitarian, juicing all the time. But that kind of openness to kind of be like, this is an interesting way. Let me learn a little bit about it and see what happens. So that's something that I've said, like, that's something important to me now, because there's no point, when you start dating someone and then they're like some crazy meat eater who wants like steak all the time. And for me, it's like, that's going to be an issue, because I don't want to be judgy, because that's something that I'm trying to not be, because it's not about being judgy. It's about, I can see, I don't want it to hurt you. I understand.
Yeah.
Now I understand.
I've been actually learning about boundaries. I'm taking an interesting kind of course right now, and there's a whole section on boundaries. And sometimes if you're the type of person that's kind of a people pleaser, you don't want to hurt people's feelings, and that kind of stuff, then we get into those situations where we don't always put the boundary there where it needs to be. And to have that boundary and to understand that, it's not judgmental. It's not trying to make them feel bad or anything. But like everybody should have some kind of standards for whatever it is that they're seeking, or know what they want, and be able to put those up without anybody feeling bad about it. When those of us that are plant-based, when we set that boundary up, that really causes other people to take note, and they're kind of like, are you really serious about that? It's like, what? And then now you're really transforming the world, because you're saying that I can't eat dead animal to hang with you. Then also what happens is people will try to come up and they'll try to fool you. They'll try to act like they're like, oh yeah, I eat fruits and vegetables.
Like, you don't have to say that.
It's like, I like the veganism. Go out with me. It's like, I don't know if you're ready. What's that? Eric talked about this in was that Thus Speak the Stomach, where the Pythagoras, before you could get into the Egyptian mystery system, Pythagoras had to do a 40-day fast. So that's almost like the relationship. That's the boundary. Is like, okay, maybe not a 40-day fast, but you at least give me a fast. Give me a little fast, do a little enema, do something. You're gonna have to.
That's even speaking about that kind of stuff, like when I started doing this whole the cleansing and understanding the body, and I started to speaking about certain things like enemas, people started to get really like, I didn't realize, because I'm really into it. I'm like, I want to talk about this all the time, but some people want to speak about that kind of stuff.
Right.
But what happened? So I've always been really kind of sneezy, and I have a lot of allergies, or I had a lot of allergies, and the older I got, I was getting all these allergies to everything, and then I started to have like stomach problems, and then like I used to have like issues with my skin, and then I'd go to the doctor, and they'd give me like antibiotics, and they'd give me like antihistamines and anti this and anti that, and I got to a point where I was like, you know what, I don't think I want to put this kind of stuff into my body anymore, and how about looking at something in a different way? So I started to do a lot of research on like holistic ways to heal, or natural ways to kind of deal with certain issues I was experiencing. And then I came across a lot of your work actually, and I got I started to read actually Spira Speaks, and I came across the Mucusless Diet Healing System, and I came across detoxification, and really basically understood that the reason why everyone's so sick, or why I'm having this experience of being sick as well, is our bodies aren't very clean. Before, I was always congested constantly. Like everyone who knows me, I have a runny nose all the time. I'm always congested. I've got a sore throat. I'm always getting sick. I was experiencing like stomach problems as well, like pains in my stomach, and What else was I experiencing? Like I don't know, like acne, back knee, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And yeah, I just kind of got, I think we all just kind of get used to that kind of stuff. But then I started to look into it and be like, you know what, maybe I can do something about it.
Now, did they ever try to offer you medications and stuff? Were you into all the allergy medications and things?
Yeah, so at first, to deal with my like skin issues, they were like, here's some antibiotics, and I was like, great, yeah, I'll take this, because at the time I didn't know how damaging actually antibiotics are for, like, especially for your stomach.
Yeah.
And they'd give like me antihistamines, and that didn't really work, to be honest. It was okay, but it didn't really work. And other things like for my stomach, so I was having like stomach pains, and they gave me like medication for like stomach ulcers, but I don't think I had a stomach ulcer. So
what?
Yeah. I started researching about cleanses and detoxification, and obviously the Mucus Diet Healing System. And so I started eating way more fruit. And when I started doing that, it was actually quite difficult at first, because you start to eliminate and detoxify. And so my kind of symptoms kind of got a little bit worse. And then I started to see improvements. Maybe at like the 3-month mark, my skin started to get like amazingly clear, like the first time in my whole life. And then my stomach problems kind of disappeared, and my allergies have got a lot better.
Why do you think that some people fail on their detox journeys and their juicing journeys?
I think what it is it's about habit, and it's about habit change. But then what I think now, which is what I'd advise other people to do, is to start with like a little kind of habit change. Like what I like to say is to have fruit for breakfast or have a juice for breakfast. So just that one thing, just start to incorporate that like daily, or maybe 3 times a week, 4 times a week, and then start slow, and then move into a more fruit-based diet if you'd like.
That almost sounds like a transition. Transition, what a novel concept that people don't understand for some reason, or they don't like to get into it. But yeah, no, it's beautiful.
Like when you start to heal yourself physically, you also start to look into things like emotionally and like spiritually and like mentally, and it's all like a one thing. So I've just noticed that when I started juicing, I just started to like get into that kind of thing more.